Well, last Wednesday, student protesters at the University of Georgia disrupted a college Republican Turning Point USA event featuring Representative Mike Collins from the Peach State. Collins' speech was interrupted for anywhere between 25 and 30 minutes while student protesters periodically stood up, yelled some, swore some, took on terrible attitudes before being let out of the room. One individual accused Collins of exploiting the death of Laken Riley, and if you don't believe me, take a look for yourself. Here it is.
I got two cousins that died in the West Bank. You want to sit here and tell me that Cosby's brought on themselves? You're a bitch. You're a bitch.
How dare you come on this campus and exploit Laken Riley's death to push your xenophobic, fascist, racist agenda, trying to get immigrants kicked out of the country. People are in this country legally, and your f***ing cops are going to get them arrested and deported. You are fascist. You and Trump are going to burn in hell. Will you be proud to have your name attached to 30,000 corpses, likely more? At the same time, you're probably of a police state that is here to persecute migrant laborers. Their life is worth so much more than yours.
Yeah. Here with me to discuss this now is campus reform correspondent and UGA student Luke Winkler. Luke, nice to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you for having me.
Did you have a front row seat there? Was that you yelling? That wasn't you, right? Just kidding, Luke. Tell me about what went on right there. What are we seeing?
I mean, it was just business as usual for me and my conservative student organization. We were having Collins come speak. We'd had him scheduled for a couple months. We had gotten word that protests were going to be happening outside the Miller Learning Center, but we had in no way envisioned that this was going to happen. I mean, we've had Governor Kemp come speak, different high-level conservatives, but something to this degree has just never happened before.
Yeah, and what do you make of that? Is there a level of anger on campus, or is it a fringe group that comes in to agitate, get clicks on social media? What's the goal here?
Well, I would say it's definitely a minority, but the goal, to me, it looks like at least, is just to emotionally release. Like, these people are coddled by left-wing institutions, by professors. They are allowed to believe whatever they want. They are completely misinformed. One of the individuals that got video, now this was not on your video, called Congressman Collins a career politician, when the reality is he is a businessman turned into a U.S. congressman, and he said that whenever he was trying to introduce himself before he kept getting interrupted. So, I mean, these people do not care about the truth or have any sort of pertaining to wanting to know it. They were just there to yell, and there was no wanting to engage in civil discourse at all.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Laken Riley, they said he was using it as a political pawn, or however they put it. Laken Riley is a tragic story, happened on your campus. A young woman doing what young people do, out for a run, middle of a Thursday morning, dragged off and beaten to death viciously by an illegal alien. Those are the facts, right? The facts weren't changed. Those are the facts. A person was in the country illegally, brutally murdered her for no apparent reason, and then crushed her skull to disfigure her. Those are the facts, right?
Unfortunately, yes.
So how do you not have that conversation? We have a wide open border. How do you not have that political conversation about Laken Riley or Ruby Garcia in Grand Rapids, Michigan, or a host of other young women I could name from Texas and Florida and all over this country that have been murdered because of an open border? I mean, that is a critical issue, is it not?
100%. And I think it stems from a larger issue, too, which was the president of the United States, one, couldn't even say Laken Riley's name correctly, and two, wasn't even going to mention it at the State of the Union until Marjorie Taylor Greene interrupted him and told him to. I mean, liberals were not even addressing this or not even talking about this worldwide or across the nation until they are told to by reporters or by conservative news outlets, because they want to ignore it. Look, the Great Replacement theory is not a theory. It's what's actually happening. They are ushering in and trying to change the outcome of the 2024 election, and are doing that by trying to rush all of these people to different states so they can make the electoral count higher. It's not opinion, it's fact.
Yes, it's pretty easy to figure out. But let me ask you this. On the last question real quick here, Luke. On the campus of UGA, Is there a change of attitude among young people, not just conservative circles like you run? And I'm sure you talk to other people that have different political persuasions. You're a college kid. It's bound to happen. Is there been a mood swing because of the murder of that young woman? Has it changed attitudes? Last answer.
1,000%. Campus Reform has done a lot of work with different instances like this. But, I mean, I've had people know that I had the biggest conservative club on campus, and so I talked with them about different issues a lot. And I've had so many conversations with people the last couple of weeks where they're saying, you know, I wasn't necessarily planning on voting. I wouldn't necessarily call myself that conservative, but just seeing Biden's response to what is happening on campus has energized me, and I want to vote for Trump this November. I've had many conversations with people like that, and there's definitely a passion and a fire that is being stirred among many young people on campus. But also there is equal outrage on the left because they believe, and one of the biggest things that you heard being said there was that Palestinians are being exploited and that immigrants, quote unquote, even though they're not immigrants, they are illegal aliens, are being taken advantage of unfairly. So there's definitely this is one of like the most harsh political climates that I've ever seen. And it is
and it's not going to change anytime soon, Luke. I got to jump in and leave it there. I appreciate your time here. We'll check back in with you because the University of Georgia could dictate what happens in the state. Thank you for taking the time.